Hey everyone, welcome to Clausematch's product demo webinar. Today we're going to talk about how to be audit ready at all times. Before we get started, just wanted to quickly go through the agenda. So depending on your time zone, the demo will last approximately 20 minutes long, and then we'll allocate around 10 minutes for Q&A. However, if you have any questions, as my colleague Jacob is going through the demo, feel free to put them in the Q&A box and they might be addressed at the end of today's webinar. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to my colleague Jacob, who is one of our account executives here at Clausematch. And today he is going to do the demo. Jacob, feel free to take it away.
Thanks, Amanda. Hi everyone, great to have you here. I know we've got people joining from literally around the world, so welcome. And if you're watching this back on a recording, great to have you here, and I hope you enjoy. So I'm just going to begin to share my screen, and then we'll jump straight into things. So as an introduction, I know Amanda's done that briefly, but my name is Jacob. I'm an account executive here at Clausematch, working out of our London office. So be running you through today. Done other product webinars, but today the main focus is how our clients, and our partners use Clausematch to be audit ready at all times. So jumping straight into things, this is the Clausematch platform. Firstly, we're going to be looking at the policy management module, which you're seeing here today. This is the dashboard and the landing page. The policy management module, this is for document owners, those that are actually involved with the actual life cycle of documents. This is where they'll reside. So those, those approvers, those editors, those reviewers, this is where they'll be. Later in the session, we'll jump across to the policy portal. And this is where documents, once they've gone through that life cycle, they've been finalized, that's where they'll go when they're ready to be published out to the business. You can set up attestations to capture that readership and engagement. Just to cover a few things off before it's always questions that we get asked. Clausematch is a web-based and cloud-based solution, and also it's a user-based environment as well. So you can have particular users, what we call power users, admin users, as you probably more familiar with them being, all the way down to light users, read-only users as well. So having this in mind, and how we're looking at how the platform allows organizations to be audit ready at all times, what I'm going to do is firstly just take you across the left hand side of the screen, where we have our categories and documents, and also taking note that this is a centralized platform for the entire document lifecycle. So you don't have to go anywhere else. It all takes place within Clausematch. But the categories and documents is a really powerful way of being able to theme theme documents into a functional hierarchy. It all takes place on the left hand side. So just to give you an example of all the various different document types that our clients choose to house within Clausematch, these can be seen here, not limited to. But if we go into our RICS taxonomy, just to show you this and how it would work and how it works. So you could have a global fraud policy as an example, but you could also have that policy residing in multiple locations. So a lot of our clients, when coming to us, they have the issue of having multiple versions of the same document. So what's the risk there? So that means that people have access to update an existing version or the wrong version, access an outdated version, especially when it comes to audits. You want to make sure that you're always accessing the most up-to-date versions of documents possible. So in this instance with Clausematch, you can have one document residing in multiple locations. So we could have our global fraud policy, which at the moment is within our risk taxonomy, and a subfolder of anti-bribery and corruption. But you could also have that particular document residing in your functional hierarchy under risk as well, if you wanted to. So just to give you an example of how that works, especially when it comes to organizing your documents. The way that's structured is just for the demo environment. Obviously, each organization that uses Clausematch has that set up differently. The next aspect that I wanted to pull across to is the templates that you can create within Clausematch. So you can create templates for a variety of different document types, within the platform. So what templates do a number of different things. First and foremost, they enforce the structure, look and feel of documents. So you can make sure that everything is following the same look and feel. But with audits in mind, They also enable you to embed fully configurable and automated workflows behind documents. So this means when a document does come up to be reviewed, there's no manual chasing from admin users to be able to sort of push document owners to review documents. Also, when a document is within its life cycle, whether it's in the drafting stage, review stage, whatever that might be, you can actually set up like stage approvers to each of these particular stages. So if we went to the validation stage, you can set up an individual, group of individuals to be able to be prompted when the document gets to this stage to actually come in, review it, approve it, make suggestions, make changes, whatever that might be. And all of that takes place within Clausematch. You don't have to leave, go elsewhere, and I'll touch upon that just in a moment. So next, so the third and final aspect of templates and how this relates to being audit ready at all times is the metadata. So templates allow you to embed metadata behind documents. So this really helps with searching capabilities, but then also reporting. So it means that you can find documents very quickly and easily, and then also you can report on that information as well. So reporting on document owners, what stage is their associated documents at within their review cycle, are any overdue, are any missed deadlines, documents to a particular jurisdiction, all of that good stuff. But I'll show you how that works in more detail in a moment. So I'm just going to jump back to the main dashboard. And I'm just going to touch upon our advanced search capabilities within Clausematch. So commonly, a lot of our partners before moving to a built for purpose solution like Clausematch, they find themselves using generic business tools, so and using quite a scattered and siloed approach. So might be storing documents on a SharePoint system, updating them and collaborating on them with an email workflow. Some are stored on a computer drive, an intranet, whatever that might be. So searching and locating information can be really difficult to do. And that's even taking out into consideration different versions of documents, what's most up to date. So just a reminder, everything's centralized, everything takes place within Clausematch, and the advanced search capabilities allow you to search for that information very quickly and easily. So as an example, I'm using AML. So that's going to search for anything within the actual document itself, so within the title or within the body of the document as well. But with Clausematch, you've got to remember, all documents are actually a database behind them. So they've got all of the workflows embedded, all of the metadata, and again, you're enforcing the structure, look and feel of documents too. So if we go into the advanced search capabilities within Clausematch, you've got the ability to search by documents within a particular stage of their review cycle, when they were last updated, particular document owner. But then also, when it comes to searching for documents, you can search by a particular jurisdiction. So if you wanted to search for documents just in the UK, Italy, wherever it might be, depending on the metadata that you've embedded behind them. And just to give you an example of the varieties of different metadata that you can embed, these are all here for you. So you could do control type, creation date, date of draft, whatever that might be, and that's all there for you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to jump back to a document itself within the platform. So I'm just going to go to our global sanctions policy. And just to give you an understanding, so this document, the global sanctions policy, has actually been created off of the group policy template that I showed you just a moment ago. So this means that it's enforcing all the same structure, look and feel, that workflow that we saw, and also that metadata will all be embedded and have to be captured behind this document. So if we go document settings, metadata, you can see all of that good information that's having to be captured. So next review date, document owner, which entity it was, is respective of jurisdiction. And all of these notifications, so next review date, it's all automated. So there's none of that manual chasing and alerts to document owners. And also, if you're an admin user of the platform, you can then have oversight of where document owners are and with their review dates, if anything has been missed as well. And there you go. You've also got the stages, the workflow stages too. So when it comes to making changes to documents, within the Clausematch platform, it all happens in real time. So I can show you that here and visualize that. So on the right hand side, you've got the ability to view any activity on a document level. And you've also got the ability to view any activity on a paragraph level as well. So if we go to the paragraph level here, I go to here to make a change. Here is the change. It's automatically captured on the right hand side. I can quickly and easily make changes and edits and involve colleagues as well. So what does that mean? So if you need to make a change quickly and easily and collaborate with a colleague, you've got, a time sensitive, you're working to a deadline, a particular audit, whatever it might be, you can quickly do that. So if I wanted to loop in my colleague Claudia, please can you take a look? Claudia is going to receive an email notification, or if she's in the Clausematch platform, the bell icon up here will alert her like this. She'll be able to jump straight into the platform, view what I've asked her to collaborate on with. If I've asked her a question, she can reply, mark it as resolved, whatever that might be. So you're collaborating in real time. You're not having to then jump into an email workflow, attach a document, make a change, note where the change is. It's all here, it's all captured. Also, any changes that you do make, you're not having to then track those in a separate Excel spreadsheet. They're all captured within the platform. So there's none of that manual and risk of human error of any track changes not being captured within the platform too. With regards to any activity, if you wanted to single out and see what activities taking place, say a document level, you can filter that by particular users of the platform, and you can filter that by date as well. So probably may have spotted it already, but there is a specific audit button at the top of the screen. I think it'd be rude if I didn't click on it, especially, given the focus of this webinar. So you can download an audit report within the Clausematch platform. So you can download the current version, or you can download any historical versions within the platform here too. That downloads all of that document activity. It's all noted. You've got all the associated timestamps and who's collaborated on that document over time. It's a short demonstration today, so I'll leave downloading that and showing it to you in its fullest. But you've also got the ability to download and export a redlined document to a docx format as well, which is a typical Word format. And then you've also got the ability to access the complete version history as well, which obviously is really important to not only demonstrate what changes have taken place over time, but then also just have that on record and know that instead of having multiple versions of the document where people can access, you're only accessing, the most up to date, but you still got the ability to compare and contrast with previous versions of documents. So you can evidence what changes have happened over time and how documents have matured, especially as 1 year goes to the next. You can evidence what the change that you have made. So I'm comparing the most up-to-date version with the oldest version within the platform. And I'm just clicking on the arrow icons here and just scrolling through and seeing all of those changes that have been made. On the right hand side, you can then again see all of the document activity. There's no limit to when the document activity expires. So this goes on from whenever you've began using Clausematch, and it'll all be noted in here for you. So I'm just going to jump back to the document itself. So we covered off, versioning, the activity tracking and automatic capture that Clausematch allows. Another aspect, I won't go into too much detail on it today, but just to give you an understanding that with Clausematch, you've also got the ability to create mappings and connections with, between documents. There's a number of different use cases that our partners would use this. But again, it ties into, effectively, managing the sort of the change management within the platform and also associating document owners with that. So one of the use cases would be, mapping, policies to other documents and related documents to show sort of the relationship between the two. So if a change was made to a document, how does that impact another one? And again, you can map specific parts of documents to other documents as well. The other aspect and what covers off when you are creating mappings within documents is, mapping a particular, regulation to policies and show how a policy is helping you meet that regulatory requirement. So, I mean, just to cover it off and just show you very, very quickly. So we've got a particular regulation here. And then we can show and sort of identify how we're mapping our global sanctions policy and meeting this particular regulation. And this is done on a paragraph to paragraph level at the moment, so it's quite granular. But for auditing purposes, you've also got the ability to overlay tags on that too. You're not set to these tags, where it's, you know, at the moment, it's a demo environment, you've got AML compliant and non-compliant. But you can overlay tags for, you know, gap analysis and identifying where you are non-compliant and also where you are compliant, and you can filter accordingly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to jump back to the main dashboard. One of the other aspects that I wanted to focus on within the policy management module, before I jump across the policy portal, is the reporting capabilities of Clausematch. So first and foremost, you know, obviously it's really important for our partners to have oversight of where documents are within their life cycle stages. You know, which documents are, you know, within the drafting stage, which are, you know, going to release, you know, validation, whatever it might be, whatever stages they've got set up. So with the reporting side of things within Clausematch, it allows you to do that. And it's instant, you know, not having to create these reports manually. So you can do that by document type. You could do that by policy owner, administrative owner, whatever that might be. So if I was to single someone out on here, let's have a little look. We'll just do it easy. Go to the top, go for ACE. So we can see all of the particular documents that ACE has within the drafting stage within the Clausematch platform. And then you can also go like which ones are in release, so on and so forth. This is all downloadable as well. So if you want to download it as a report, you can do. Also, more importantly, if you wanted to quickly see which documents are overdue, you can. So you want to see all that are overdue, you can see those instantly. So they're all here and noted. Again, you can do that by document type, or you can do it by document owner as well. So if you wanted to see, you know, ALA, all documents that are overdue for ALA, you can do. And they're all there and noted. So really, really important when you've got an audit coming up. If you do have documents that are overdue, see, that's never a good thing. But with Clausematch, it gives you that complete oversight to quickly identify which documents they are and who they belong to, so you can action those accordingly. One of the biggest things as well is just remembering that any notifications to document owners that, you know, a review date is approaching, or it's coming up, or it gets to the stage that it's overdue, you're not having to chase that, you know, on a manual basis. It's all done through Clausematch, you know, automatic notifications. So, you know, hopefully you shouldn't get to the point ever where it's actually gone overdue and missed deadlines. So that's the policy management module. I know we've covered a lot there, and there's so many aspects within the platform that can, you know, support organizations to be audit ready, especially when it comes to documents going through their life cycle. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to transition across to the policy portal. So this here is really to drive the engagement and awareness with the latest versions of documents or document updates. So this is the policy portal. So we can quickly see documents within here and manage documents. So here we can see like pending attestations. So if we could click on here, I've got an attestation that's been set up against myself. So this is asking me to confirm that I've read and understood the latest version of this document. So I can click on here, quickly scroll to the bottom, can read the document. If I wanted to, I can ask a question to the document owner if I have a question about this particular document that I need to be asked. I can also see any activity with regards to this document, who's been in it, who's viewed it, when and when. And then if I'm happy, I can just click that I've read and understood it, and I can confirm. So that document owner will automatically be notified. It's all logged within the Clausematch platform. Also, you've got the ability to, you know, publish documents. So if I was to go on this particular sample document, I can then publish this out to the business. So if I click publish, I can then assign this to a particular user. You can actually create groups of individuals, or if you wanted to publish it to essentially everyone in the portal, everyone in the business, that normally is, you can do that as well. So this means that you can make sure that if there is an update, you're working to a particular deadline, you need to make sure that everyone's attested to a document very quickly, and you can confirm that readership this is where really when the policy portal comes into its own. So you can capture that readership straight away, and it's all logged within the platform. So if I go back to the policy portal landing page, and this is the last aspect that I'm going to show you. Again, you've got exactly the same searching capability, so locating documents. And again, typically our clients mirror sort of how the categories are set up on the policy management module. So last aspect to show you is the reporting. So this is where you can essentially be able to have that oversight, of which users, of documents that have gone past their deadlines. So let me search for my colleague Ted. So he's not in the good books here. I mean, he's got a fair few that have missed their deadline, that have not been, not had attestation set up, that he's not completed. But there's one here that was completed, but it was completed late. So this gives you that complete oversight. This is on a user basis. And again, you can create groups of individuals here as well. So if it was just the compliance function and the legal function, and you wanted to see all those associated users, you can do, opposed to just seeing the one. You can do the same for just policies, or you can do it by users and by category as well. So I hope that's, sort of up to time there with regards to the sort of the demonstration aspect today. Of the policy management and policy portal, but I hope you found that really useful, especially tying that into how we, ensure that our partners are audit ready at all times. But it's been great. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you, Jacob. Before we wrap up, I just want to cover some of the questions that we've been getting. One question I want to start off with, because it's the question we get a lot from a lot of prospects, is Clausematch limited to policies only?
No, absolutely not. So I touched upon it, I think, when we were on the policy management side of things under the categories and showing you these different document types that can be housed within Clausematch. So yeah, policies, absolutely. But any documents that require governance can be housed within Clausematch. So that could be a procedure, it could be an obligation, you name it. Our partners use Clausematch to be able to do that and enforce that.
Cool. A question I just got from Sarah is, after you do a demo with us, how long does it really take for clients to kind of be up and running with Clausematch?
Yeah, no, really great question. So typically it depends on the size of the organization and the urgency that's behind that. But typically from the stage of, signing a contract with us to actually being in sort of a BAU using Clausematch's usual environment can take anywhere between sort of 8 to 12 weeks. And just to give you a bit of context with that, Clausematch is a very much a light touch approach when it comes to implementation. We've got an absolutely, outstanding professional services team that, not only help with getting you on board and training, but it could be document migration onto the platform, all your existing documents, solution design, setup, and training as well, of course.
Yeah, cool. Just got another question come in. Does Clausematch develop machine readable rule books?
So with regards to the machine learning, we've got an aspect of our data science team that, work with that. But at the moment, our first and foremost, Clausematch is a document management platform. So it's there to house your documents within Clausematch. Of course, you can upload, any related documents and map them to one another. But yeah, we do have those AI capabilities, in progress behind the scenes.
Cool. Looks like we have one last question from Michael. Typically, what functions are responsible for onboarding a platform like Clausematch?
No, a great question. Thanks, Michael. So it really depends on the rollout. So, typically it could be just the compliance function, and that would be initially onboarding Clausematch. And then we see sort of that expands to legal, risk, depending on the size of the business. Or it could be an enterprise rollout where the whole entire business and all functions are wanting to implement Clausematch. And typically when it's that case, we would see, a particular project resource from each of those, function heads that will be involved with that implementation. And like I say, we're very hands-on approach when it comes to implementation. So we very much set that structure and work with you to achieve that success.
Cool. It looks like we wrapped up all our questions. However, if you have any other additional questions for us, you can reach out to Clausematch at info@clausematch.com. So with that, I want to thank you, Jacob, for giving a very thorough demo of Clausematch. And for everyone on the call right now, we will be sending out a link with the recording so that you can share it with your colleagues as well. So thank you, everyone, for attending. We hope you enjoyed it, and have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Have a great day. Thank you.